So, hello everybody. Welcome to the operatefirst Community Cloud bi-weekly meetup. It's Tuesday, it's February the 7th, and it's 11 o'clock ET/New York time. Thanks for joining us. This meetup aims to embrace the multidisciplinary nature of the current state of operations and cloud infrastructure by covering technical topics relevant to DevOps, data scientists, software engineers, and alike. And it's all in open public forum. Give me a second. I will handle it later. Sorry. We do this on a bi-weekly event, open to everyone, and it's around operatefirst. It's in operatefirst Community Cloud, and it's also right now the Community Cloud meeting in general, following all the ideas of operate, open, governance, and hybrid. I will post the links during the meeting to our different pages. I will announce the next meeting with Christian Glombeck talking about OKD streams, which is postponed from the beginning of this year. And I think everybody's pretty eager to hear now more about Pulp. And I thank Gerrod for doing this today. And the stage is yours. Welcome.
Thank you. Gonna try to share my screen. Can everybody see the slides?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Cool. Okay, I'm gonna get started. Hi, I'm Gerrod. I'm a developer from the Pulp team. And today I'm going to be talking about our journey, onboarding, and our experience with operatefirst. So a little overview of what I'm going to be talking about. First, I'm going to introduce Pulp for anybody who hasn't heard Pulp first, and give a brief overview of what Pulp does, its architecture, and some key Pulp concepts. Then second, I'm going to give a little history of how Pulp got introduced to operatefirst and our journey to onboarding and becoming a service on operatefirst. And then finally, I want to give some feedback on our experience with operatefirst and specifically managing our community service. And I'm going to want to structure this more like a discussion where I give some feedback points and then ask some questions and hopefully get some responses from the operatefirst community. So first up, overview of Pulp, if you haven't heard of it. Pulp is a software repository manager for allowing you to curate and distribute hundreds of thousands of packages from many different software types. And so we support a lot of very popular software types like Ansible collections, Python packages, Docker Podman containers, RPM, and Debian packages. And we're basically the one-stop shop for managing and curating this type of content. You kind of think of us as an open source version of Artifactory or JFrog, if you've heard those software managers. So a brief overview of the architecture. Pulp is a Django project with two main components. One is the REST API for actually managing the software, and the second is an AOHP web server for distributing the content. As you can see in the diagram, this is put behind a reverse proxy where users will either get directed to the content app if they are a client wishing to download content, or they'll go to the REST API if they wish to set up their content and create repositories to manage. Artifacts are stored in either on the file system or in a storage bucket, and artifacts are deduplicated within Pulp, so making sure that we're very consistent and very efficient with artifact handling. We have a scalable amount of task workers that work behind the scenes to perform long-running operations that I'll describe in the next slide. And finally, we're all Pulp is under one single Postgres database, which basically is the single source of truth for all of the Pulp instance. So this is a brief overview of some of the key concepts in Pulp. So like I was describing before, artifacts are deduplicated in Pulp, and they are a part of what we call content units. And this content unit can be of many different types: RPM, containers, Python packages. And each content type is stored within a repository. And repositories are just collections of content that our users create and are able to curate. Each repository is versioned, so every time you add or remove a package, a new repository version is created, and this way you can have complete control over what you're curating and what you're creating. And if you make a mistake, you can easily roll back to a previous version. So it's super simple. Remotes allow for a key feature of Pulp, which is syncing content from upstream repositories. So a lot of these content types have public indexes where majority of the content is hosted. And if you want to create your own local copies of it, you can sync from these upstream repositories by creating a remote to them. And you can even sync from other private repositories or even other Pulp instances themselves. And then finally, distributions are what actually expose the content from inside a repository to the outside public for clients to consume. So this creates links in our content app to the actual end user. A little bit about Pulp development. So Pulp is a Django project, but it's actually a plugin-based architecture. And so all of our content types are actually plugins to the main Pulp core server, which means they all have their own GitHub repository, their own issues and features, and their own versioning. And so within the Pulp team, we actually have a bunch of little mini teams that all work on their own little plugin type. And so for me, I actually work on the Python and the Ansible plugin. So those are the two that I have the most experience with. For the most part, Pulp isn't actually productized itself. We are part of many downstream products in Red Hat. The big three that people probably know us from are Satellite, Foreman Catello, and Ansible Automation Hub. And so when it comes to development, we basically have to balance our community stakeholders with our downstream stakeholders. And our downstream stakeholders tend to take a bit of a priority because they're the ones who come in with most of the demands and more feature requests. And for the past 2 or 3 years, we've mainly been installed through on-premise installations with Ansible to playbooks. But within the past 6 months, we've been making a big switch to really focus on switching over to be container first deployment, and probably will eventually only be a container first, as containers are the way of the future. And a lot of services are switching over to make sure that they can always run through containers, like OpenShift and obviously operatefirst. So now I'm going to give a bit of a history of how we got introduced to operatefirst. So back almost over 2 years ago, there was an inquiry on the Python mailing list here at Red Hat by the DOF team for a request to have an internal PyPI hosted by Red Hat. And we on the Pulp team put our hat in the ring to meet this demand. And when we created an internal PyPI meeting group, and over the course of many meetings, we decided that Pulp was the way to go. We wanted to create a Pulp instance with the Python plugin, and we wanted the instance to live on operatefirst, since it operatefirst principles aligned with the goals of our meeting, which was to basically host an index for OpenStack and the AI/ML communities here at Red Hat. And so thus this began our journey to onboarding onto the openfirst infrastructure. And the nice thing about openfirst is that it's all open source. So you can see the whole entire journey within this nice issue, and it's all linked across all the multiple GitHub repositories. And at the start of this journey, we decided that we wanted to bring up to development our Pulp operator, which we just had started working on maybe like a couple months prior. And this opportunity was actually a huge boon for our development of our operator. It gave us a lot of guided feedback and focus on where we needed to work on for our operator to feature developments and to squash bugs that we didn't know we already had. So this process was extremely helpful, and the operatefirst people were very gracious, spending their time helping us debug and figure out any of the problems we had in our operator. And currently our operator, as you can see in this diagram, I think is around almost full feature parity with all our other deployment methods. And right now we are actually we're underway in rewriting the operator in Go from its Ansible implementation. And there's this little link that shows some of the benefits and decision making about why we want to rewrite it in Go. But the basic gist is that most operators are written in Go, and so we wanted to, there's more features, and it should lead to faster development times to add more to our operator. And there's a larger community of developers out there who know about operators and writing them in Go. So hoping to access all of these benefits and more. And finally, after 10 months from when we started, we got our Pulp instance up and running on operatefirst, and you can actually go and interact with the instance there at pulp.operatefirst.cloud, Pulp at API v3 status. Many thanks to all the people on the operatefirst team. I see some of them here in the call, like Tom, who help us get to this point. And we announced this new index. Initially, our plan was obviously to create a Python index. And so we announced this plan in this article where we allow people to go to the operatefirst support GitHub page and file an issue to create a new index. And from there, they'll be able to upload and manage their packages on this operatefirst Pulp instance. So now I'm going to give some of our feedback on our experience with managing this instance. And for this part, I'm going to hopefully just bring some feedback points and then initiate a discussion from you community members. So it's sad to say, but after our long work, our long journey, 10 months, and we getting the instance deployed, we sadly have nobody actually using the instance currently. While we had quite a couple teams interested in using the instance, the long journey probably caused some of the teams to look into all their alternatives, or maybe they just lost interest or forgot. So we currently don't have too much feedback to give on actually managing the instance. The onboarding process was actually quite simple and very painless, and I definitely recommend. But actual managing and operating Pulp as a service, we don't know much about. And so I identified 3 major areas that I think are roadblocks preventing others from using Pulp, this Pulp instance. And those 3 are also lack of users and use cases, potential insufficient storage, and little documentation and advertisement. So let's go to the first one. So currently, how we set it up is we wanted to be pretty minimal and not be too much of a burden on the Pulp team. And so that's why we went with the open a support ticket first, and then we'll get to it. But there hasn't been too many support tickets. I think there's been only like 1 or 2. And then eventually those people's repositories were either deleted or they decided to stop using them. But currently there's only 1 admin user in Pulp, and this user has to do all of the operations because every operation needs permissions. And this makes it pretty hard, basically creates a bottleneck for us, where users will have to come through us first in order to actually interact with this Pulp instance. From downloading content is fine, you can do that unauthenticated, but if you want to actually create a repository and be able to upload content to it, you need to have permissions, which will then have to go back to this admin user. And so my first point is Pulp supports external authentication, and we have tested support for redhat single sign-in and Keycloak. And so I was wondering what other operatefirst services what authentication systems do they use, and are there best practices for encouraging ease of use for user creation and permission assignments? So I want to bring this question to the floor. If anybody has any suggestions, and if you don't have any suggestions now, you can come talk about it a bit near the end of the presentation.
I think I can respond to that. So right now, operatefirst Community Cloud is using GitHub as the source of truth for our identity as an identity provider. We've experimented with Keycloak, but since we're not federating across different identity providers, we don't have any advanced need for Keycloak, and that comes to like declarative management in Keycloak, which is kind of painful on its own right now. So that's why we switched to Identatum, which is an experimental operator from OCM folks, from Advanced Cluster Management for Kubernetes people. And there's still a strong midstream, I think that's the name. So that federates and basically manages the identity providers across the cluster fleet automatically and basically connects them all to our GitHub organization. So if you would use any of those OpenShift clusters as your identity provider, which is possible through OAuth clients, you can leverage this authentication, which in turn will ask GitHub to provide the identity. So that would allow anybody who can access operatefirst to access your service. Since operatefirst Community Cloud is kind of focused or locked in the GitHub ecosystem, you can also go directly through the GitHub IDP, as we do for some other services, and not through our clusters internally. So does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. And currently, since our requests for opening a Python index are done through GitHub, I think this would ease the process if we actually use GitHub as the identity provider. That way we could directly link the user who's opening the requests to the actual permission check on the Pulp side. That way we don't, hopefully weren't passing usernames and passwords along through insecure messaging chats. So I'll break that down as something to look into. I do think, Pulp is a Django project, and so pretty much most external authentication that Django supports, we also support by extension. So I think it's probably possible already without minimum effort, just some config changes on the Pulp instance to enable this feature.
It should be. All the authentication or IDP providers nowadays are basically OIDC. So that should work if OIDC is supported, which from your notes here that you support Keycloak seems fairly obvious that it should be supported. So it should be minimal effort on your end.
Cool. Thank you. My next point is current lack of use cases besides setting up a Python package index. So like I mentioned before, Pulp can actually store multiple different content types, not just Python packages. So it can be a Docker registry, RPM repository, a Galaxy, Ansible Galaxy collection. And so during our initial internal PyPI meetings, we had a lot of asks about other different content types, and we tried to keep the scope just to Python for this initial deployment. But that's kind of limiting, and obviously limits the actual potential of Pulp. And so I would like to curate some suggestions from the operatefirst community if there's any use cases specifically for current operatefirst services. So one example is we probably one day on our Pulp team want to switch some of our CI/CD to actually get our artifacts that we use to build content for our pipelines to be pulling that in from a Pulp instance that is regularly synced from an upstream. And so using operatefirst. This instance could be something that is used in other projects, CI/CD pipelines. Is there any other community projects here that have ideas?
I'm not 100% sure, but I kind of have the idea that Cruise HPO could maybe be a contact point, for what I know.
Cool. I can bring it up near the end and ask you for some more contact points to explore more options for others to within the operators community to use Pulp.
Right.
So
we can do some call one-on-one, and I give you the list of different projects that could be. I'm not in all details with all what they're doing and need, but it could help. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'll go on to my next point here, which is potential trouble with storage. So I was looking at the instance, and currently it has around 24 gigabytes of storage, and it's using file system storage. And this could be a potential problem as a content manager. A lot of these content types can be quite large, especially some of the bigger content types like Debian, RPN, container. These repositories can typically range anywhere from 20 to 70 gigabytes in size. We have a lot of features in Pulp to manage the storage and reduce the amount that you're using. So we have on-demand syncing, which just syncs the metadata. And we also have reclaim operations, which will reclaim any unused content types, and also ways to purge content types from the system. But currently, even with those features, they would probably have to be frequently used. And this is not a route that we really encourage our users to go down, to continuously frequently prune content from Pulp, as you'll probably end up losing something that you actually really wanted. And it's best to just have sufficient storage in the first place, and then eventually over time run every now and then a cleanup operation when you notice things are getting too full. And so I wanted to ask this question to operatefirst people. Is there a dedicated cloud object storage instance, or are there other services that use lots of storage that have this problem? And if so, how do they go about tackling it?
So I think there are a couple of things to consider here. One is the raw storage capacity. In those clusters, we're not short on storage by any means. So if we have projects that are requesting terabytes of storage, that's totally fine with us. So there's room to hire your quota on that project pretty substantially if there's a need for it. The other thing is the nature of operatefirst community cloud being cloud without SLOs and SLIs. That means most of our clusters are bare metal OpenShift. So if something goes up, something goes down with any of those hard drives or whatnot, we don't provide data recovery means. We don't provide any extended reliability things around storage. So that's maybe one aspect to consider. We also connect our clusters to external Ceph managed through New England Research Cloud. So that's the NESI storage, which is a huge Ceph pool. Each of our clusters has some allocated storage in there, and so currently your project is basically consuming storage from there, which has redundancy, which has recovery, which has everything. We also have object storage natively available through object bucket claims, through OpenShift Data Foundation project, which basically connects to this external Ceph. However, currently this is facing some issues in the cluster that you're running your Pulp instance of. So this is currently not available in that cluster. And since the troubleshooting on these problems is not very user-friendly, not very efficient, not very helpful, because if we involve, for example, support people, they will tell us you're connecting to an external cluster. We have no control. The NESI Ceph cluster is not under our control. So they can't actually help us with that. So with use of object storage, there comes this uncertainty. If something goes wrong in all those moving parts, and that is a long chain of moving parts, to like enabling that object storage natively in those clusters, then a potential loss of data can occur. So when it comes to like native storage that we can offer as a that was a very long answer to get to a very short gist of it. If you want to access a raw storage, the safest bet with operatefirst Community Cloud is to use the file system or block storage through PVCs. That should be fairly safe. And there's a room to grow that storage as much as you want. When it comes to object storage, we approach this topic through the Ceph way, so using the Redis gateway to expose the Ceph storage as object buckets. But there are some problems with that. We don't provide direct access to third-party services, so we don't offer storage on AWS S3 or Azure or anything like that. If you want that, if you want to connect to AWS S3, you would need to do that on your own. But the network is there, so you can, if you have your credentials, you can do that. But we don't provide storage there.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'm not too worried about the data integrity or data loss. Obviously, we know that there's not as a community instance, there isn't that much, or we can't ask too much of a standard. But Pulp also has a lot of robust mechanisms for recovering data and repopulating the content, even if you lose them. It just takes time and takes somebody there to walk through the steps. That's very useful information about the cloud storage. So I guess I didn't know that we could keep provisioning up more and more storage. So that's useful. That alleviates this concern, I think. Because I didn't want to run quickly out of storage once we advertise it, and then people go and use it and then can't actually upload anything to the instance.
Yeah, if you ever hit your quota, it's just a matter of raising a pull request with like, I want my quota higher in this and that regard. And if we have the space available, either storage, CPU, RAM, whatever you ask, we will grant it to you, because there's no use for it to be sitting around unused. So that's totally available.
Cool. Thank you. And then on to my final point. It's help with documentation and visibility. So I've been going through for the past couple of weeks, been going through the operatefirst documentation, and I would like to help contribute to the documentation, and specifically contribute and acknowledge or add sections talking about Pulp and this Pulp instance. One thing to note is that in our article that we created, that we posted on the redhat developers, one of the links to operatefirst docs, it's actually links to 404. So I don't know if this link is wrong or if this document's missing, but this piece is something that I would want to fix. And I wanted to get some feedback or suggestions on what's the best way to increase Pulp's presence in the operatefirst community and better expose to other operatefirst community members.
Okay, so one thing is for sure that we have this talk here right now. It's recorded and that you are here. Number one, and number two is you're more than welcome to talk to me, and we get together and do the documentation and adding stuff to the website as needed. Not a problem at all. I'm open for this. Or you can write a blog on our on the website, but we can also connect it. And about the 404, I will look into this because I don't know if this still is a part of when we moved the web space at some point and updated everything, or if there's a current new issue. I will look into this. And for sure, let's do a one-on-one at some point, and we can update tutorials, website, action links, call to actions. I'm more than happy if you got some input there.
Cool. Yeah. Didn't want to put everything on this one slide, but yeah, we definitely have a lot of ideas, and we're more than happy to help contribute documentation. Really just want to alleviate the problem I brought up of nobody using Pulp. We need to inform people that this instance is here, and hopefully get more interest from the community. I think that's my last slide. So link here is our discourse, where we have most of our community discussions, and then we're on Matrix/Pulp and Pulp Dev. That's where you can find us hanging out. Come ask questions if you want. And then obviously it's in the bottom left of all these slides, but pulpproject.org is our website, and you can find links to everything. Tom?
About the documentation and visibility, one of the last things that we did together with Fabrizio when he was still part of your team, we plugged Pulp or enabled Pulp, added Pulp to our service catalog. So it's also available there, linking to your upstream documentation and to the instance, and serving real-time data about the Pulp cluster, its health status, and whatnot. So that's all in there. We can extend it with technical documentation within the service catalog if we want to. Now it comes to now is the question if it is any helpful or required or whatnot to have a operatefirst specific documentation, if it would be better to have this documentation upstream for your project visibility and for you actually using those lessons that you've learned by deploying on operatefirst on upstream and sharing that lesson upstream instead of pulling the documentation into operatefirst, which is a benefit to operatefirst, yes, but the idea about operatefirst is that the communities benefit from using it. So maybe the documentation itself, if it lives on the upstream project, this is nurturing the upstream to a better future, maybe.
Yeah, I think we'd be happy to contribute to the upstream documentation, or to both. Our goal would be, with, or at least from the Pulp side, would to have this instance be something that we can direct community users who want to try out Pulp to go and try out the Pulp instance hosted by operatefirst, so they can get a feel for how Pulp works and if they want to go and deploy their own instance. And so we would like to have documentation on our side linking to this operatefirst instance with instructions on how to set it up or how to get started using it. And so I think it's perfectly reasonable ask to have us contribute to both the operate-first documentation and then obviously link it within our upstream documentation. And I think that would be the end goal, to increase both collaboration between the two communities and hopefully get more users in on both.
Okay, thank you. And in fact, that this bi-weekly meetup is right now more than just a presentation part. As you already noted, it's a community thing. So you're welcome to show up every meeting. And if I see at some of the presentation where I have the idea that maybe Pulp could be a good solution, I will bring it up or invite you especially to it, that you can help there, support there, whatever is needed. And anything else to add from anybody about anything? Okay. Then, Gerrod, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
We
Thank you
do
for giving me
this.
the time.
Yeah, and if you want to share your presentation, you can just send it to me. I will put it on our repository where all the presentations are.
Okay.
And then let's have a meetup, the two of us, where we go through all the stuff that we can like fix the 401s and maybe getting some new docs in there. For everybody else, I'm mentioning it again. Please feel free to join our mailing list, and you're always up to date what's happening, just in case new meetings coming up. Then our next meeting will be in 2 weeks. It is about the OKD streams, building the next generation of OKD together, where the CentOS stream is, they're using operatefirst also. And yeah, if there are no more questions, feedback, recommendations up there, then I'm thank you all for spending the time with us, being part of the community, and see you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.